Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. Truth.
You good.
Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night Show in a special edition of No Sellouts. What's going on? How y'all feeling? How was your weekend? I hope it was well received. Hope you had a good time. Hope you hung out with family and friends and everybody was safe. I want to give a heartwarming condolence to the people in California who were affected by the horrible fires there. Devastating what happened there. I hope that you are safe, and I hope that your family is accounted for. Wow, these natural disasters, man. More horrible. It's more horrible every time I turn around, guys. Climate change. They say it's climate change, and some people say it's bad luck. You know, bad luck doesn't happen that often. Like I said, if you just continuous bad luck, maybe we need to step in and do something here. And I know that there are people who are tied to fossil fuels and tied to exploiting our environment for profit. Realize that those people don't have your best interests at heart when it comes to taking environmental or climate change seriously, guys. So that's what I think about that. But to all the people out there, all right. We got a couple of topics we want to hit tonight. One of those topics, let's see, we have a former Clinton aide, very popular. He was in secretary, worked for Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. Phillip made some comments about 2020. We're going to talk about those. A couple other commentators, Secular Talk. And I'm trying to think of Jimmy Dore also talked about it, so I'm going to chime in on that. Security guard. We're going to get to, we're going to start with the security guard, but we're going to get to Tucker Carlson, and we're also going to get to Trump and his attack on black female reporters. We want to deal with this thing that's been happening lately and talk about it honestly for what it is. Let's start with this story of Jamel Robertson. And I just want to read you a little bit about this. Now, this is a story that you won't hear covered much, okay? You won't hear it covered much, guys, because it doesn't fit the narrative that the right wants to paint regarding gun ownership. It won't fit the narrative that the right likes to peddle when it comes to police and how having a gun is a great defense. Time after time, when we talk about gun ownership in the black community, we talk about the disparities of treatment when it comes to guns. In fact, one of the jokes, someone hit me with this like a couple months ago. They said, Tim, if you want to see the gun laws change, just tell every black guy in your neighborhood to go buy an AK-47. Well, hell, go tell every black guy in the state to go buy a gun, and you'll see laws change overnight. To see, the idea is that, we've got a right to bear arms, but they originally adopted gun laws to prevent black people from owning guns. They didn't want ex-slaves to be able to defend themselves. Hence lynchings and all the other things, all the other grotesque inhumanities that black people were subjected to by racists in this country, often by our law enforcement. Just a little bit of history there for all you people out there. Unwanted, unliked, unfriendly history. Which brings me to the story that I have to report to you. A police officer shoots and kills a good guy with a gun. This happened in the Chicago suburbs. name of the good guy was Jamel Robertson. Around 4 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday morning, a disgruntled group of drunken men were asked to leave Manny's Blue Room Bar in the Chicago suburbs. One of those men returned with a gun and opened fire. Amid the chaos, the 26-year-old armed security guard, Jamel Robertson, chased one of the suspects outside of the club and apprehended him at gunpoint. Robertson seemingly did everything right, but when Midlothian police officers arrived to the scene, one of them saw the security guard with a gun and shot and killed Robertson on the spot. According to one report I saw by the local news there, he was shot like 4 times. Good guy. They say that the only thing that beats a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. But what happens when the good guy with a gun is a black guy? And you know, of course, us being born in America, us being infected with this thing that we don't like to talk about, even on the left. What if the officers show up and think, oh, obviously this guy must be part of the problem because he is black. Can't be a good guy. Gotta shoot him 4 times. Even though, according to reports, everybody was screaming out, security. He was a security guard. A witness by the name of Adam Harris told reporters, and they still did their job and saw a black man with a gun, and they basically killed him. Now, many anti-gun politicians and advocates, including President Donald Trump, frequently say that armed security guards are the only way to stop mass shootings. Last month, after 8 people were killed at a Pittsburgh synagogue, Trump suggested that there should be armed guards at churches and synagogues. So remember, guys, this has been the talking point, right? Talking point has been, hey, we can't stop the flow of guns. We can't stop guns. So we just need to give more people guns. But then these types of situations are bound to happen where good guys have guns, but when you show up because you have such a bias, you just assume the good guy with a gun is the bad guy. And you shoot him too. In fact, the only person that didn't get shot this day was the bad guy. The guy who went back and got his gun did not get shot. The guy who stopped the fight, apprehended the suspect, is the one who got shot, at least according to what I'm reading. Now, I know it's heartbreaking, but what I'm saying is, it's more than just anecdotal. We need to look at this because we have such a country that has this sickness floating through it, where people had such bias. And those people who are biased often happen to have guns. So it's one thing for you to be biased and you sit in your house and all you do is turn the channel when you hear hip-hop. That's fine. Turn the channel. I turn the channel too when I hear some of the new stuff that I don't like. Because I'm old that way. You know what I mean? It ain't the Roots, it ain't Rakim, it ain't Tupac, it ain't Biggie, you know? It ain't Nas, it ain't Talib. You know, so I might turn the channel, you know? So it's okay. But when you have this mindset, and you have a badge and a gun and a law, a get out of jail free card basically, just go on a little vacation after you kill somebody, well, maybe it's not such a good idea to just give everybody guns or tell everybody just go get more guns without realizing that the reality that you live, which is, hey man, you got a gun? Maybe it's a good guy. Maybe your reality won't be the same reality that someone else has to live. Or in this case, unfortunately, have to die behind. Now, Jamel Robinson's 26-year-old, very, very well-liked, well-loved young man. He played instruments for the local church. He wanted to be a police officer. Ironic, huh? The group of people that he wanted to join as an armed security guard, wanted to work up his way and become an officer himself. He's killed by those very same people. And it's a tragedy. And it just puts a little ripple in that whole idea, that a little fly in the ointment, so to speak, guys, where, oh, more people just need to have guns, and that'll take care of everything. Not always. Definitely not for the Robeson family. And just like I stated, the officer that killed Robertson has already been placed on administrative leave with pay per the protocols of the police department. They are conducting a criminal investigation. Friends and family have already set up a GoFundMe account to raise money for the Robeson's burial. All right. All right, guys. Let me move this mic. This mic is rubbing up against my tie and making unseemly noises. All right, folks, this is where I want to tell you that the show that you're now watching is brought to you by TimBlackTV.com, by your host right here, Tim Black, for TBTV Media. If you would like to become a member of the show, please do so at Patreon.com. Or also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can become a member on YouTube and join Tim Black's Wolf Pack. That's my Wolf Pack, folks. You know, don't say there's no media out there that shoots it to me straight. There's no media out there that just tells it like it is. There's no media out there I can trust. Well, here goes some media out there for you that you can trust, but you got to support it because, hey, that's the only way we keep media around that we really want, okay? That's the way we keep it out of the hands of the corporations, is by funding it ourselves. So go to TimBlackTV.com or find me at Tim@TimBlackTV.com. You can email me at Tim@TimBlackTV.com. And, yeah. All right. We ready for this? Are we ready for this? I think we're ready for it. We ready for it. So I think we are. I think we're ready for it. The hell. Get the hell. Good thing you guys can't see me. Okay, so let me jump back on screen here. We got a story. We got something we need to address, guys. So let me get me back on the screen. There we go. I'm back. Thank you for your patience on that one. There's so much to cover. I haven't really made a decision about the direction we wanted to go here. Let's go to Tucker Carlson. Okay? Let's go to Tucker Carlson because everyone's been talking about Tucker Carlson. And if you aren't aware, Tucker Carlson had some people show up at his house. That's right. Some people showed at the house of Fox News host Tucker Carlson, and they stood outside his home, and they made a disturbance. And according to Tucker Carlson, some things were said that were threatening. Now, Tucker Carlson was not home when this group of Antifa, or anti-fascist, showed up at his home, but his wife was home. His wife barricaded herself inside her pantry and phoned the police, who came and told the protesters to leave, which they did. As I stated, there's been varying reports about what the protesters did while they were there. I think there's an admission on both sides that at least there was something painted on the driveway with a spray can. On Tucker Carlson's home driveway, something was painted. I think it was a symbol of anarchy or anti-fascist or something like that. A symbol was painted. Not a hate sign, not a swastika, but some type of symbol was painted. And there's been a lot of talk about this because, because Tucker Carlson, he went to Twitter and he made some statements about it, and he talked about it. And a lot of people on the left and the right have been commenting about the lack of civility, a lack of decorum between protesters, and the violence on the alt-left and all this. So this has been a talking point for months and months, okay? So Tucker Carlson addressed the allegation in his tweet, okay? So what happened was, Tucker Carlson finally tweeted on Sunday morning, for the first time since Fox News instituted a Twitter blackout. So you got this thing that happens at Tucker Carlson's house. A lot of hoopla, a lot of talk about it. Many people in the media chimed in about the need for civility, the need to not be making threats, the need not to show up at people's homes, all this stuff. Tucker Carlson and Fox News get upset because somebody sent out a tweet including Tucker Carlson's home address. Okay. And they said since Twitter won't suspend accounts that dox Tucker Carlson, we're not going to tweet on Twitter. Yeah, we're going to deprive them of our traffic to their website if they're not going to do this. So anyway, Tucker finally tweeted on Sunday. And thus, the Twitter blackout for Fox News. A Twitter blackout in which employees were instructed not to share Fox News content on the platform, which has since Fox News' official account go days without tweeting, was reportedly instituted to protest Twitter's response to tweets containing Carlson's address. On Saturday, a man named Juan Manuel Granados accused Tucker Carlson, of assaulting him at a country club in Virginia. All right, so another ripple to the story is that when this came out about Tucker Carlson being assaulted at his home or people showing up, protesters showing up at his home, someone stepped forward with the help of Michael Avenatti, the lawyer for Stormy Daniels, possible 2020 presidential contender for the nomination for the Democratic Party, Michael Avenatti. And this person, Juan Granado, says that he was at a country club, and there is some footage of the altercation between him and Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson says Mr. Granado said some foul words to his daughter, but what's on the clip that you see very plainly is Tucker Carlson yelling expletives at Granado, telling him to get the F out of there. That's what you saw. All right, so I can't really get into who did what at the country club, but Granado says he will be filing charges against Tucker Carlson and Tucker Carlson's son-in-law or someone. Tucker Carlson was not there alone. He was there with his daughter and someone else. Okay? Tucker Carlson admits that his son threw a glass of wine in Granado's face. And I think that's why Granado's is saying he will file a lawsuit of assault. Okay? All right. One last thing before I can even get to just speaking on this catastrophe. Someone called into my show on Friday and they brought up Tucker Carlson. And they were very sympathetic to Tucker Carlson. It's not right that Tucker Carlson's being accosted at his house. It's not right these people made threats. None of it's right. It's wrong. We should not behave this way. This is something we should never do. In fact, there were people on the left, notably Cenk Uygur, TYT, him and Anna Kasparian, did a segment where they said the same thing. I think it was them too. I know Cenk was there. Someone. And this is the thing, okay? Now, while all this is being said about what people need to do in regards to Tucker Carlson and how wrong it is to protest someone's home, there's also a report. I have an article on thinkprogress.org, and the person says, hey, I was at the protest outside Tucker Carlson's home. Here's what actually happened. And the story they lay out is that it wasn't 20 violent protesters. It was more like 13 people. They knocked on the door. They never tried to break in his house. They stood near the curb. One dummy did spray paint something. They were there all of 10 minutes, and then they left when the cops told them to leave. That they were saying things about the thing about bombs, and we know where you live. They said, well, we were bringing up bombs about the synagogue that got bombed, and we think that, and they felt that they felt that Tucker Carlson and Fox News and their rhetoric contributed to the MAGA bomber who sent the pipe bombs. They felt that he was incited by Trump and by Fox News, and they were chanting about that, but not necessarily threatening Tucker Carlson with a pipe bomb at his house. Now, that's what the article says. I didn't write the article. I wasn't at the protest. I'm just telling you what the article says. So there's conflicting there's conflicting data or ideas or opinions about how bad it really was at Tucker Carlson's house. All right. Now, folks, if you don't mind, can I say a few words about this? Well, if you don't mind, or if you do mind, it don't matter because I'm going to say them anyway. I'm going to say them anyway. Listen, guys. For a very brief time, I was with a network. Very brief. And it wasn't the type of network where you get paid money. It's an MCN, which is a multi-channel network. This is something that happens on YouTube. It's not something I recommend, really. Okay? It's with them for a very short time. Their names I will not mention. They did not really help me grow or do anything they said they were going to do, but they did take a cut of my money. Now, but the reason why I bring them up is not to boo-hoo or complain about how I got shafted dealing with these people. The reason why I bring them up is because all of the rest of the people that they supported, all the channels they work with, were right. On the right. The other right. On the right. Okay? All conservative channels. All conservative news channels. They specifically dealt with news channels, digital content creation by news people. I was to be their only left-leaning news channel. The advice given to me by that network is to do something, to adopt a scheme in order to get more views, in order to grow faster. I was told, verbatim, this is it. What you need to do, Tim Black, is you need to adopt the conservative tactic of playing victim. Because that's how they do it. You need to play victim, Tim Black. You know, like Tucker Carlson, afraid for his life suddenly because 13 misfits showed up at his house and said things for 10 minutes and left. They didn't break anything. They didn't throw bottles, didn't hurl anything at his home. They didn't send letters, threatening letters or phone calls in the middle of the night. They came, they protested for 10 minutes, they left. But to Tucker Carlson and Fox News and all these people, it's the most scary, horrific thing in the world that could ever happen to Tucker Carlson. And I say this to you guys. This is, to me, a patented move by conservatives to play victim. That's what I see it to be. There are people who are victims of hate crimes in this country every day. Those people tend not to resemble or in any way share any similarities to Tucker Carlson. How often does Tucker Carlson and Fox News talk about those victims of real hate crimes that occur every day? I tell you, without watching it that often, I can guess not that often. Not that often does Tucker Carlson and Fox News give any attention whatsoever to the actual victims of hate crimes in this country. In fact, I would argue to you that they contribute to it with their xenophobic, bigoted coverage. That's right. Also, let me also suggest this. Being from a marginalized group of people, Tim Black, I got a problem with people who I don't think have that much a problem with the suffering of others suddenly playing victim as if, oh no, they can't have any hardship in life. Oh no, no hardship for me. Listen, if you have a platform and you from time to time spew rhetoric that people hate, there will be backlash from that. There is no one that I know who produces content that is controversial who does not get from time to time bad news, bad emails, death threats, or something similar. It comes with the territory. I say this, guys, Tucker Carlson, I don't wish any bad on you. I wish no bad on anyone. But I do wish that you be a little bit more sincere about what you incite on an almost daily basis on Fox News. I don't see you, Tucker Carlson, being that concerned with how others are treated, nor how their safety may be impacted by the knuckleheads and the fools and the idiots and the off their medication nut jobs that go off their medication and then do all types of acts that occur throughout this country. You know, when you're sitting around and you're talking about how the other are a threat, you're inciting these knuckleheads to come out of the darkness and attack people. I don't think you're overly concerned with that. I don't see you slowing down, stopping, quitting, what have you. Now, maybe at a later date, I will take the time to go through Tucker Carlson's vast catalog. And in the broader point, Fox News' vast catalog of insightful rhetoric on their network. I'm sure there's a lot to be found. I do not wish violence on anyone. But there's a saying, and that saying, and you know what, I'm not even going to use that saying for this, and I was going to say roosters come home to roost, but considering there was no roosters roosted home. 13 people for 10 minutes who left without an incident are not, it's nothing. Nothing happened to you, Tucker. You know, for the right who likes to use the terms like snowflake, it's very snowflakey for you to act as if your life was on the line or your wife's life was on the line. You are a public person who makes incendiary comments. Other thing before I end this, I have a problem with people who do a lot of Tucker Carlson ass kissing. I've been seeing a lot of this. You know, Tucker Carlson he does not need protection. You know, every once in a while he'll say something that's borderline acceptable or borderline agreeable about some small thing that's of a populist nature. But for the most part, Tucker Carlson regurgitates the talking points of conservatives that are detrimental to a lot of people throughout this country. And I don't take lightly to people kissing his ass because it gets some views or because, they might agree on this one little thing he said that time. You know, I understand how this media shit works. Tucker Carlson does not deserve protection or crocodile tears or none of that shit. And a lot of these people who are giving these crocodile tears, they're just playing the game. See, the liberal media, the corporate media, the left, they like to pretend that they are civil. Well, you know what? There's a time and place for civility, and there's a time to say, hey, that mofo deserved what he got. Now, in this case, Tucker Carlson didn't get anything. He got nada. Nothing happened to him. Nothing at all. So let's stop pandering to the right, to people like Tucker Carlson, the home of the alt-right viewer. Let's stop capitulating to these bombastic bigots and say, you know what? Yeah, I don't want nothing bad to happen to you, but I don't have time to give a damn because I don't think you give a damn about the poor people in this country. You don't give a damn about minorities, you don't give a damn about black folks. You don't give a damn about Muslims. You don't give a damn about gay. You don't give a damn about a lot of people in this country. Why should those people give a damn about you? Let's have some equal trade as far as us giving a damn about one another. All right. That's what I think about that, guys. Now, that's just my opinion. Somebody kissed the Tucker Carlson's ass. Like, this guy is like, what? It's for as long as I can remember. For 20 years that I've seen Tucker Carlson, he's always been a bigot. All right, anyway. Phil said, well, it's not right. We can't be mean to him. Well, I wasn't mean to him, but if they was mean to him, so what? He's safe. He's fine. Walk it off. Isn't that what you tell us? All right, so anyway, let me keep going because I can really go on. I could get on one right now on Tucker Carlson. All right, so there's more, guys. There's more. There's been a lot of talk about this. All right, so what's this gentleman's name? Police officer that shoots, we just covered that. The protester Tucker Carlson, we got that out the way. Tucker Carlson. Well, anyway, Phillip Reigns. I basically know it. Okay, here we go. Hillary Clinton's had a lot of people that supported her throughout the years. One of those people's name is Phillip Reigns. Now, Phillip Reigns was recently on a podcast with Sam Weinstein. I think it's his name. And on that podcast, they made comments. And they made comments about the 2020 elections. There was a conversation where Reigns, who is he's a political operative, a consultant with years in the game, and one of the feathers in his cap is helping Hillary Clinton's campaign. He's very close to the Clinton machine, as you know, which has been running the Democratic Party for now 20, 30 years. So his opinion matters to the think tanks, and it matters to corporate media. During this podcast, and I'm going to play you a piece of it, some questions are asked about 2020, and I'd like to play for you what was discussed, and then we're going to conversate about it. So check this out.
I don't know. I don't.
Is that because you don't see someone out there now?
I think there are people out there that...
Who could win the primary and the general election in the Democratic Party?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
Is that because you don't see someone out there now?
I think there are people out there that would make great presidents. I just don't know how you get through both and then still be... I mean, the one thing that Secretary Clinton has always said, whether it's about her or just in general, is, you know, a campaign is between two people. And why that sounds obvious, right now when people talk about Donald Trump, it's really Trump or not Trump. When it's Trump versus Booker or Trump versus Sanders or that's a very different dynamic. Mm-hmm. And I always think of it this way, that if the election were held tomorrow, stick in a name, would Trump win? And I have a hard time thinking of, you know, like I think Tom Hanks would win, and I think The Rock would win. I have a hard time seeing how a lot of the people who are running would win. Just as comparison. That doesn't mean that they're not... He's a freak of nature. And doesn't matter if he's dumb or not, doesn't matter what I think. He is a bulldozer.
So if you were betting now, you think he wins in 2020?
Net, yeah.
And
yeah.
Do you need
for a lot of reasons, also because, you know, moments in history like this tend to not get resolved. The only two presidents in the last 85 years have been denied a second term: Jimmy Carter,
George H.W.
and George H.W. Bush, and both because they had, well, as a sign of trouble, they had serious primary challengers. It's harder to lose the office than get the office.
Do you think that a celebrity will run? I mean, do you think the Democrats need a
celebrity? Sure. I saw something on Page 6 yesterday, a celebrity who I'd never... I mean, I love reading Page 6, and at this point, I don't understand who half these people are. Like, it'll say, The Weeknd is coming to Utah. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't understand. Isn't it... What do you mean, this weekend in Utah?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't... All these one-name things.
But you mentioned Tom Hanks. Do you think there is...
I did because of the Saturday Night Live.
No, I agree with you.
I think. No, I'm not kidding. There was someone yesterday who seriously said they're thinking about running. I didn't know who they were.
Have you heard any? I mean, you are plugged into these kind of circles of any. No. Do you think Joe Biden would have won in 2016?
No. I'll tell you why. I don't think any office holder would have won except Barack Obama. Obviously, he couldn't run. And I say that because of this weird, almost inexplicable overlap between Trump and Obama voters, where, you know, 1 in 5 Trump voters identify themselves as not only voting in 2012 for Barack Obama, but on Election Day 2016, still approved of Obama's job. Mm-hmm. So everyone is very quick to say Hillary Clinton didn't go to Wisconsin, she's a bad campaigner, she had email problems, unique baggage, blah, blah, blah. the core argument thrown at her, the core arguments were in Washington for 30 years, part of the establishment. So that would apply to certainly Joe Biden, any of them. And I love Joe Biden, so I'm not saying this is any kind of answering it in terms of Biden because you asked. Sure. Trade, attacked on trade, TPP in particular. Obviously, Biden was pro-TPP. Repealing Obamacare. Obviously.
Yeah.
Those in and of themselves were incredibly powerful. Now, that's assuming Joe Biden doesn't have anything unique to throw at him, which is not true. I think of anyone who runs who thinks the ticket to winning in 2020 is to go to Wisconsin a lot and to make sure you're using Gmail and not a server is missing the point. It's just not, doesn't make sense. I mean, he steamrolled past 16 of some of the best politicians in the Republican Party. And he did it being a wacko.
Okay. There's a lot of people pissed off about this guy, Mr. Rines. Now, Mr. Rines, political consultant, joined the Department of State as senior advisor to Hillary Clinton when she became the Secretary of State, and was promoted to the position of Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Strategic Communications. 2016, in the debate preparations for Hillary Clinton in the 2016 presidential election, Rines stood in for Donald Trump. So they did simulations so that she could prepare to debate Donald Trump, but he was her Donald Trump. Get it? CBS commented that Rines is known for his bullish, combative personality, traits that often mirror Trump's personal debate style. So, all right, so a couple people covered this, like I stated, Jimmy Dore and Kyle Kalinske covered. And they said that this guy, Rines, that nobody's talking about. There are a lot of people out there that could probably could beat Donald Trump. Hope I'm getting that right, because it don't make sense to me. Like, I understand why we don't want a celebrity, right? We don't want a celebrity. We don't open the floodgates on celebrities running for political office. But Donald Trump just proved that America is so desperate, like so tired of politicians, that it's willing to take a flyer on anything. Even Donald Trump. I mean, that's what they did. America just said, you know what? Hillary's promising more of Obama. I'm going to go with something different. He's promising to bring jobs back, coal jobs back to West Virginia. He's promising to do a lot of stuff. Hillary's promising to just keep things going the way they're going. And the way they're going, they're not going so good for me. So I'm going to go with Donald Trump. So I think we're in a new era where, whether you like it or not, celebrities are going to be considered, because we just had a celebrity win. And now, see, here's my thing, and this is why I disagree with Kyle and Jimmy. Donald Trump didn't just win against Hillary. He won against everybody in the Republican field. In fact, it wasn't even close. He trounced. How many did Rines point out? 13, 14, 15? I don't know how many Republicans did Donald Trump dust. Establishment Republicans like Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush and Christie and Santorum, whatever. These are people with long track records in politics, hundreds of years of political experience. And Donald Trump shows up and hands them their asses. Says, here goes your ass, here you go. Take that with you, put it in your backpack, and go on home, because I'm going to be going against Hillary or whoever wins the Democratic nomination. I think you can't underestimate that. You got to kind of look at it for what it is and say, yeah, this is a different thing that's going on. Whether you like Donald Trump or not, or you think he's kooky or crazy or whatever, don't matter. What matters is people, voters, said, better than this bag of lies, well, better than this Democrat who I can't stand. In fact, the division between both parties is so vast that likable celebrity can somewhat lower some of the defenses that are automatically going to be there. So I don't think you can just dismiss this idea of celebrity. Do I want that to happen? No, I don't. I think probably be a good idea to have somebody with a little bit of experience. But come on, man. Presidents are run by corporations. For the most part. I mean, I know we like to have this idea that the person who gets elected makes most of the decisions, but by the time they get in office, they're so beholden to corporate interests that, can we really say Barack Obama was the president? I mean, can't we just admit Wall Street was the president? Can't we just admit that the insurance companies were the president? Or at least they shared the office with him. Yeah, like he was president on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, but they had the rest of the week. I mean, we got to be a little bit honest here. And I understand part of the anger that people feel, part of the angst, frustration, right? The offense that Jimmy or Kyle felt is because, well, they think that Bernie Sanders could be that guy that could defeat Donald Trump. I don't know if he can be at this point. I know he could have been, but has that ship sailed? Can we still say America's where it was 2 years ago? I'm just being honest. Can we say that we are in the same position we were 2 years ago? I don't think we are. I don't think anything stays the same. I think that there was a window for Bernie Sanders, and it was closed by Hillary Clinton, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Donna Brazile, corporate media, all of those bastards who decided they wanted to coronate Hillary Clinton. I think that Martin O'Malley, Lincoln Chafee, Jim Webb, when they got out of the race, they got out because they knew what time it was. They knew that the decision was already made that Hillary Clinton was going to get that nomination. There was no reason for them to waste campaign money or political capital on that race. I think Bernie's stubbornness to stay in it is all a credit to who he is as a human being. Some people think I don't like Bernie. I do like Bernie. What I'm saying is I don't think the country's in the same place it was 2 years ago. And typically, it's hard to unseat presidents. Very difficult task. So as it pertains to 2020, will a rock be necessary? Will a Oprah need to run? Will a Tom Hanks type bigger than larger than life figure, well-liked, name recognition off the charts, will that be a viable option? Yeah, it will be. That's how bad it is. I think to dismiss it and just say, well, it just takes policy, that takes you to look in a very narrow little pinhole of your own bubble. And look, I used to do that. I used to just look in progressive pinhole. Ooh, look at in the pinhole. Look around. But there's a bigger country out there of people who are disengaged, people who are moderate. See, progressive activists are a very small percentage of the country. There's a lot more people who don't pay attention to Papadopoulos or Michael Flynn, Stormy Daniels. They don't pay attention to this shit. You do. For most Americans, the name recognition means something. And it's possible, and we're about to find out, if America has passed the threshold, if we're in a new era where it's less about pedigree, less about dynasty, and more about just how people feel. I think Obama. I think Obama, not just Trump, I think Obama started that. I think people voted for Obama because how they felt. There was no reason in the world to think a freshman senator, state senator, was going to come in and be president. A half black president. I think that by itself was, no one predicted it, okay? And just ask John Lewis, ask the Congressional Black Caucus, who all got behind Hillary Clinton. Ask just ask around. So I think that was started, I don't even think he can give Trump the credit. I think he got to start with crediting Obama with changing politics and letting the unlikely become the reality. All right, guys. Now, go find this podcast, guys. Phillip Rhines and Sam Weinstein, I think it's the name of their podcast. Go check them out, guys. It's out there. I only played a very little bit of it. I don't want to jack people's content, if I can help it, to tell a story. All right, guys. Here goes the doozy. All right, here goes the doozy. We need to, everybody get ready because we're about to go to town on this. I think this, our marquee story. Now, there's been a lot of conversation about Donald Trump and his treatment of journalists. People have been talking about this for quite some time. This whole war against fake news that Donald Trump has waged, it's been very fruitful for Donald Trump. And some of it I agree with, and some of it I disagree with. But what's been happening lately? Well, let's take a clip of Donald Trump and his interactions, most noticeably, with black female reporters. Let's start with Miss Yamiche.
White nationalists. Now people are also
I don't know
saying
why you'd
that
say
the
that.
president.
It's such a racist
There are
question.
some people that say that now the president, Yamiche Olcindra with PBS NewsHour, on the campaign trail, you called yourself a nationalist. Some people saw that as emboldening white nationalists. Now people are also
I don't know
saying
why you'd
that
say
the
that.
president.
It's such a racist
There are
question.
some people that say that now the Republican Party is seen as supporting white nationalists
Oh, I
because
don't
of your
believe
rhetoric.
that. I don't
What do
believe
you make of that?
I don't believe it. I don't know. Why do I have my highest poll numbers ever with African Americans? Why do I have among the highest poll numbers with African Americans? I mean, why do I have my highest poll numbers? That's such a racist question. Honestly, I mean, I know you have it written down and you're going to tell me. Let me tell you, it's a racist question.
And Mr. President,
I
want to
love
ask.
it. You know what the word is? I love our country. I do. You have nationalists, you have globalists. I also love the world, and I don't mind helping the world, but we have to straighten out our country first. We have a lot of problems.
And Miss.
Excuse me, but to say that, what you said is so insulting to me. It's a very terrible thing that you said.
And Mr.
Okay, please,
President,
go ahead.
Mr.
Go
President,
ahead.
people have you
Go
talked
ahead.
about
Excuse me.
middle class tax cuts on the campaign trail. How will you get Democrats to support that policy? Or
You have to
support
ask
that?
them.
Well,
Hey,
what's your
No,
plan
no,
for
excuse
working
me.
with
You know
Democrats
what
on a
my
middle
plan
class
is?
tax plan?
You know what my plan is? I'll ask them. And if they say yes, I'm all for it. And if they say no, there's nothing you can do because you need their votes. Go ahead.
All right. So let's do this. Let's come back on the screen here. All right. Gosh, I don't know exactly how to begin this. Okay, so we all just heard Yamiche Olcindra with her comments to Donald Trump. It was a question. It wasn't really a comment. It was a question. You would have thought this was the first time that Donald Trump ever heard that question. I mean, he totally could not answer the question. This is not a question that's new. In fact, when you look up the question, months and months and months people have been making this claim that Donald Trump embracing nationalism and using the term nationalism was problematic because it just happens to be half of an ideology the word nationalism happens to be in half of an ideology called white nationalism that is seen as racist as hell. That's not, Yamiche, the sister in the video, didn't make that up. She didn't come up with this question out of thin air. She didn't come up with the idea that people are wondering this. People have written about it. In fact, in preparation for tonight's broadcast, when I looked it up, I'm seeing articles written about it for the last 2 years. Ever since Steve Bannon started preaching the ideology and sharing it as he helped Donald Trump campaign. So why is it all of a sudden Trump gets to act like he has no idea? He's totally floored. In fact, he started doing the bleeper, 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 bleeper in response to it. Donald Trump could not respond to her question in any reasonable fashion. His immediate tact was to denigrate her. Now, on the merits of the question, I don't even want to argue, is it nationalism or globalism? That's not, that's up to Donald Trump to make his claim. He could have done that without saying that that's a racist question. No, white nationalism is racism, right? That's a racist ideology. It's where white people come before black people and all other people, okay? White nationalism. So, by definition in the Cambridge Dictionary, a nation's wish and attempt to be politically independent or too great love of your own country. Too great love of your own country. But white nationalism is a great love of the white part of your country. Get it? So that's where it becomes really problematic. Donald Trump, okay, so I understand no one likes being called a racist. But once again, Donald Trump wasn't his first time dealing with this question. Definitely wasn't the first time a journalist ever put this together. Wasn't the first time people have raised the question. It's not new. And the way that Donald Trump behaved is not the way a grown-ass man behaves. And it was very disrespectful. But in light of, I don't know, I'll say this. I can see where somebody might get upset if you call him racist. I don't like the way he handled it. But seeing as though we got a couple of more of these, I don't give him a pass on it. Because he also did this.
I think Jim Acosta is a very unprofessional man. I think he does this with everybody. He gets paid to do that. You know, he gets paid to burst in. He's a very unprofessional guy. Whether it was me or Ronald Reagan or anybody else, he would have done the same thing. Look, I don't think he's a smart person, but he's got a loud voice. And here, wait, David, do you mind if I answer the question? And as far as I'm concerned, I haven't made that decision, but it could be others also. When you're in the White House, this is a very sacred place to me. This is a very special place. You have to treat the White House with respect. You have to treat the presidency with respect. If you've ever seen him dealing with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, it's a disgrace. And he does it for, the reason. The same thing with April Ryan. I watch her get up. I mean, you talk about somebody that's a loser. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. She gets publicity, and then she gets a pay raise, or she gets a contract with, I think, CNN. But she's very nasty, and she shouldn't be. She shouldn't be. You've got to treat the White House and the office of the presidency with respect.
Donald Trump just said, you got to treat the White House with respect. If someone, how can I say this? If you would like to treat the White House with respect, the first thing you should do, Donald Trump, is move the fuck out of the White House. Get your ass out of the White House. In fact, when you were standing at Trump Tower, I get it now. maybe you do respect the White House. You didn't want to dirty the White House by you coming to the White House, you and your wife living in the White House. I mean, guys, it's time to take the gloves off on this. I don't give a shit. I think that what he just did here, I don't think there's any excuse you can make for it. I mean, I know there's some bigots out there who make excuses for the way Donald Trump treats people, people of color, treats black folks. I understand that, but I'm not going to do it. Look, April Ryan, where the fuck, how did she even come up in the conversation? Why is the most powerful man in the world attacking private citizens who have no power? They don't even own companies. At least if you attack Papa John's or somebody, Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, notice Donald Trump does not attack those bastards. He won't attack Jeff Bezos, but he attack lowly, and I don't mean any disrespect to April Ryan, but lowly April Ryan, a journalist who works for a part-time contributor for CNN. Like, that's like worthy of all of this disgust because she asked a question you didn't like. It's becoming a running narrative with Donald Trump that he shits on black women. I don't think it deserves a pass. It should not be given a pass. And people need to stand up and say, though we have no power to stop the most powerful man in the universe from dogging out black women, I think it's important that we do stand up and at least make the statement that this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable that he would drag this woman just because he disagrees with her politics or just because he disagrees with the newspaper or the magazine or the website or the cable network or whatever it is. April Ryan does not own CNN. She don't own the left, and she's not taking jobs out of the country. She's not stockpiling nuclear weapons. She's not committing any type of human rights violations. All she did was say things you didn't like. That does not give you, a person with the finger next to the button of the nuclear codes, a license to disrespect her. Donald Trump either don't care, either he doesn't care about the sensitivity of dealing with people, the respect level that you should have for other human beings, particularly women and particularly black women. Yes, I said it because they are the most vulnerable people in our society. They have dealt with the most shit in America. Arguably next to Native Americans. Black women have been dealt. To not have the calibration in your freaking head that maybe I don't need to trample on black women with no regard at all for respectability, for ethics, for manners or anything. That just shows that Donald Trump, like he stated, the White House deserves a certain level of respect. His ass should not be in the White House. He just shouldn't be. There's a certain level of personal, ability to control oneself that Donald Trump just doesn't have. And shame on you fuckheads for making excuses for it. Just because you voted for him, or just because, April Ryan is a known Democrat. And I would stop there, but shit, Trump didn't stop there. So let's keep going because patterns are more than one. So we did two, and I'm leaving out Maxine Waters and other people, Kamala Harris, that he has said horrible things about. I'm leaving those people out. Let's just jump to this one, okay? Because we could go more than three, but we're going to go to number 3.
Do you expect Matt Whitaker to be involved in the Russia probe? Do you want him to...
It's up to him.
Do you want him to rein in Robert Mueller?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question.
Do you expect Matt Whitaker to be involved in the Russia probe? Do you want him to...
It's up to him.
Do you want him to rein in Robert Mueller?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
Once again, there he is. There he is. There he is once again. So that's number 3. It's not a stupid question to ask Donald Trump if his removal of his attorney general and the implant of the new attorney general may have an impact on the Russia investigation, when that's the question everybody's asking themselves. See, I know there are people who don't keep up with this stuff. I get it. You got the dog to take care of, the sick parents, the kids, the school. You got a sick family. You got the car's broke, the tires need replacing. There's a leak. Hell, I mean, I got a regular life too. But in politics, what's happening right now? There was no story bigger in politics than the ousting of Jeff Beauregard Sessions. All right? And the impact that may have on the Russia investigation, the Mueller investigation. And what this new attorney general would mean to that. Would he put the brakes on the investigation? This is not crazy. It's not. So Donald Trump is a complete asshole for saying that that's a stupid question when it's a question everybody wants to fucking know, except those who kiss Donald Trump's ass on a daily basis who happen to be employed by Fox News. Those are the only people that don't want to know. The only people not concerned because they're paid not to know, not to want to know. As it pertains to political coverage. That is the 3rd black woman in recent 1, 2, 3 weeks, last couple of weeks, that Donald Trump just bulldozed over and shitted on and backed up over him and took a leak on him. And it's unacceptable. And what's even more unacceptable, what's more horrible about it, is that there are people co-signing it, looking the other way. Because why? Because Donald Trump to them means they can get money off of AdSense or money off of hits, off websites, or they can come on the Fox show or some derivative of Fox or whatever the hell, and are very silent on it. And I've seen this on blacks and white folks. This is not, selling out is not just a black thing or a white thing. It's a universal thing. A lot of people are selling out behind Donald Trump because you can make some money selling out behind Donald Trump. But I'm stating right now, loud and clear, Donald Trump is more than a divider. He's a bigot. And his actions, either he's a bigot or he has the lowest IQ of anyone. He says that Maxine Waters and LeBron James have low IQs. They came from literally nothing. Literally nothing. Not given millions of dollars by their rich, bigoted father. From literally nothing and made themselves into something. Not like Donald Trump. Now you guys can fly off on your belief, this fantasy that this is a self-made man. Donald Trump does none of that. None of it. So when he talks about low IQ, he's talking about himself. He is projecting. That's projection. And as he denigrates black women, he shows his true colors. And I like to say to all those conservatives who keep saying, walk away, black people need to walk away. Walk away where? Into a party full of people like you who look the other way while the standard bearer for that party shits on black women? I think Donald Trump didn't get the memo that you were trying to attract black people to your party. I think he missed the memo. Because one way not to get that memo is to have him, for no reason at all, instead of just answering a question, disrespecting black women with no regard at all for any type of decency. There's a certain way you treat people. There's a way you shut people down. There's a way he should be astute enough to deflect the question like a politician would. He's been one for quite some time now. He knows how to answer a question. If he doesn't know how to answer a question without disrespecting and calling black people dumb, he's not smart enough to be president. And if you got to make excuses for him, you're either a sellout or you're not smart enough to be making a commentary. That's how I feel about that. Now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be people out there who disagree with me. Do me a favor. Send all your hate mail to mymamaaintshit@timblacktv.com. That's right, mymamaaintshit@timblacktv.com. Because let me tell you something. I am entitled I am entitled, I am reclaiming my time to shit on him. If I can talk badly about Maxine Waters when she does shit she shouldn't do, if I can call out Cory Booker when he wouldn't sign the pharmaceutical bill, wouldn't vote for a bill that would lower the cost of prescriptions, well, you damn right sure I'm going to call out Donald Trump when he's shellacking black women. Damn right. See, you have me mistaken for someone else. Okay? I will call Donald Trump out for what he does when he does it, when it deserves to be called out. And this right here, unacceptable in my book. Totally unacceptable. I know for a fact that people get under your skin in this world. But when you are the president, you should be held to a high standard. For you guys to lower the bar as to what's acceptable of our sons and daughters, of men in society, of the president of the United States, all because you want to win an election, all because you want hits on the way. You want to lower the bar on what's acceptable, and you won't call out this guy calling this educated black woman stupid? What are you? What are you? I'm not going to refer to you with all the derogatory, racially based names or any of that stuff. I'm just going to say I'm disappointed in so many people right now. I don't know what to say. All right? I'm very disappointed, man. Disappointed. But hey, okay. This is just what you do. Couple dollars in it for you. Fuck it. You don't need to be reasonable. You don't need to hold anybody accountable. You just want to win that bad that you have no accountability, even for the president of the United States. You have no bar. But you'll say someone in the street, some kid in high school or some elementary school, if they talk this way about another person, about a woman, you would say that's disrespectful. Who raised you that way? Why do you you shouldn't talk to women. You shouldn't talk about these women this way. You would say that. But since it's Trump, you guys act like it's okay. It's not okay. And it's not. And I heard the argument already. Somebody, Michael Caputo, the argument, well, Trump is the equal opportunity disrespecter. You know what? That's not good enough. Like I said, if you haven't been calibrated into society to understand the level of respect that you need to pay, to have some type of intuition in dealing with people, if Donald Trump doesn't possess that just goes to underscore why he should never have been president and why his ass should be out 2020. Like this. If he doesn't have that ability, if all you can say is, well, he treats everybody like shit, that's not good enough, man. That's not good enough. Oh, well, he beats everybody's ass, so, he's just an abusive person. So we all get abused by him, so whatever. It's not good enough. Because some of us are men. Some of us are men, and some of us are strong women who will stand up, who will not hope to get buttermilk biscuits or coins flipped at us for going along with bullshit. Okay? Some of us will say, you know what, I guess I'm going to be a house nigga. I guess I have to live outside because I'm not going to cave in and support this garbage. This is horrible. It's humiliating what he's doing. Where he did that to them, but he do that to everybody. So, white women put up with it. Well, you know what? They shouldn't. No woman should put up with it. And no guy should put up with it either. Who does Trump think? Just because he's president, there should be a level of respect. All right. That's it. That's enough. No one should have to put up with it. Damn it. But my sister, keep black woman name out your mouth, man. All right. All right, guys. Once again, all right, I feel a little bit better now. I really was. You get too angry, then you don't make any sense. So I do. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. If you don't know, let me let everybody know I'm on Roku. I am on Roku. If you have Roku and you cut the cord, you can find the Tim Black Show there on Roku. Watch me on Roku. Watch me on YouTube. Find me on Facebook. Find me on Twitter. I had to make some further adjustments. We're still adjusting. So find me there, Real Tim Black. Email me if it's not hate mail, tim@timblacktv.com. And if it is hate mail, send it to yourmotheraintnothing@timblacktv.com. Peace, y'all.